Good afternoon, everybody. Today on the Shop Small project, I want to talk a little bit about January in review, a little bit about what we experienced as we shopped throughout the month, and also a couple of changes going forward, a couple of modifications to the project in order to, I think, better meet our needs and to suit the project better. And also, I want to make note that in the last video, I kind of alluded that there was going to be another video in between this one and the last one. I ended up getting super busy and just have not had a chance to make that video. So it's coming. There will be another video come out. It's just I wanted to get the January recap done before it got away from me a little bit, because it's already into February. So I don't want to drag this out any more than I have to. Okay, so. First thing, so lessons learned. We learned, I think, like three main things across the January. The first one being that we've discovered so many new little businesses around the area that are they're great. One is a salon that I got my hair cut at. I changed stylist and went to a local place that we just discovered. I found a pizza shop that's like 4 minutes from the house that's awesome. They have great barbecue, great pizza, love them. We discovered another little seafood restaurant down a couple miles away from the house, and also a craft and the fabric supply store that is just really, really nice and very well stocked. So those are just some of the businesses that we learned about. We also already knew about plenty of great specialty shops and grocery stores and things like that are nearby. So that's a great thing as well. And so that's kind of like, that's the positive, great news. On the kind of, I would say, learning side of things, that was maybe like a difficult lesson, I guess. Not a negative. I don't want to say negative. I would say just kind of, we learned this, that there are some things that you cannot find in local businesses, local small businesses, to buy over the counter right here and now. Things like poster board for my oldest had a presentation, and she needed a poster board to use for her presentation, and nobody had it. And we spent quite a bit of time looking at quite a few different stores, and finally ended up going to Dollar General and picking it up. Craft foam. I could not find that anywhere. I only needed 2-inch thick foam for a project I was working on. Couldn't find that anywhere locally. Everybody was all the shop owners were telling me, just go to Jo-Ann Fabric. It'll be easy. And I kind of ignored them for the first like 4 shops. I went to like 6 shops trying to find it, and nobody had it. So finally, I just went to Jo-Ann Fabrics and bought it. And another thing is kind of maybe. I could find these items, but they're not items that I enjoy using or enjoy switching brands, because I guess once you get particular, once you have a brand, then you kind of become particular to that brand. Items such as like paper towels or toilet paper, or paper plates or diapers. Things like that. Those are difficult to switch brands, and we struggled finding a brand that we were accustomed to at the small businesses that we had available to us. So certain things like that were a bit of an adjustment. And then some things just kind of we struggle with it a little bit, that just kind of don't make sense to buy small. We're a family of 5. We're constantly, eating and just utilizing all kinds of different resources that we have, and so some items we need to buy in bulk. Honestly, it's extraordinarily expensive to buy in some of the small businesses, simply because like the community that we live in is mostly either older couples or single people, or I guess some of the families that are nearby are other lower middle class families such as ours. And so, but the vast majority of the people that shop and frequent the local or small businesses that are here or would be probably the older couples, or some of the local singles. So the businesses nearby sort of cater to them with their stock, which is what they ought to be doing. That's their patrons, and they need to take care of them. But it does make it difficult when we try to do grocery shopping for a family of 5, and you can't. You have to buy things like frozen vegetables in a little tiny container because that's all they have, and so you buy 4 of those bags just to get you through the week, kind of thing, or paper towels come in 4 packs, and I have toddlers, so I use a 4-pack in a week, so anyway, things like that are a little bit, it just almost doesn't make sense. On average we spent about the same this in January as we did on average every month last year when we didn't really care where we shopped. And so there wasn't really any net gain or loss in the money side of things. I will say that we shopped less because every move was, can we go here? Can we go there? Let me research and find if there's a shop that we can find what we're looking for, and that definitely pumped the brakes on a lot of expenditures. So. I don't know whether maybe that kind of contributed to us spending less in some degree. But all in all, I would say it was a success, and the spirit of the project is very much intact. We definitely want to exhaust all resources to try to support any local business, but I will say that as we went through the month, like I said, I did feel very restricted. I felt pigeonholed into a certain set of vendors that I was able to go to. And while we were going throughout the month, I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Why am I torturing myself to some extent? And so I had to kind of reconcile the feeling to myself, reconcile to me why this was a good idea. And I kind of came up with the same kind of question kept coming up, and it was simply, what about the businesses that started out small, like most businesses do, and grew to being a large retailer or a large business simply because of good, sound, honest business practices and hard work? Should I be excluding them or punishing them by not spending money with them simply because they happened to hit some dollar value threshold, or they were fortunate enough to be able to afford to hire more employees, or they were successful enough to have more than 2 or 3 locations, so they now all of a sudden that they're too big to be shopped at? And that started making me question, well, are big businesses evil? Are small businesses inherently good? Some big businesses got there because they're rewarded by good, sound business practices. Some big businesses got there by being crooks and liars and simply by just kind of bullying through the marketplace. Some small businesses need to be supported because they are doing good, honest, hard work, and very knowledgeable people, and putting in all of their resources and doing everything they can to grow. And some small businesses are small because, honestly, I guess the most clear and unfortunately blunt way is that they don't deserve to be big. Some small businesses are that way because the community has decided that they don't deserve to be any bigger. So then that begs the question, do I shop with small businesses regardless of their business practices? Do I shop with the small businesses simply because I deem them to be small, but kind of disregarding what the, whether or not they provide a quality service to me, or do they have honest and good business practices, or do I weigh those options along with the fact of, I guess basically at the end of the day, if all things being equal, I would shop at the small business. But sometimes things aren't equal. So with many projects and experiments and things like that, you think the experiment has to be modified in order to get successful results and to accommodate the possible environment or things that were unforeseen along the way at the beginning, at the hypothesis stage of an experiment. So as mentioned in the very first video, I said that were there be any kind of unforeseen consequences or things that came up that we weren't planning for, we ran into sort of a brick wall with this, and this is kind of something that we were unforeseen, so we are modifying the project. While the spirit of the project will always remain intact, and we will do everything we can to safeguard that, so because of that, we still, all the restaurants, I'll tell you, I didn't miss a chain restaurant in this month. It was a bit of like, oh yeah, we can't go there, let's go over here, but man, there are just so many good local restaurants here that we really don't need any chain restaurants, and I honestly don't miss that. So we will be making a few modifications to shop with some other businesses that better suit our needs while maintaining the spirit of the project, and obviously spending our money with small businesses as often as possible. If you've spent any time in maybe a newer trendy grocery store or even some select clothing retailers, you will have seen something says responsibly sourced. And what that is a marketing tactic to help you feel better about buying that product, because whether it was an avocado or coffee, they're saying, we got this without, beating a little child out in a field somewhere to pick it, and they want to appeal to your emotional side of things as well as your moral side of things to help you buy that product. And I am in no way, shape, or form saying to not buy that for those reasons. What I'm getting at here is that if we are supposed to be concerned about how that item made it to the retailer that we are spending our money with, we should be just as concerned about where the dollar that we're using to buy said item, we should be worried about where that dollar goes after the purchase is made. So any bigger retailer that we spend money with will have to satisfy our kind of inspection of where that money will end up. How are they treating their employees? How are they treating the community that's around them? Are they giving back? Are they taking care of it? Do they have a knowledge about their products, and do they have a service that they provide that is just amazing and is worth whether it's more money or whether it's because they're big, whatever. Basically, we're going to reward not only small businesses for just being tough and sticking it, staying in the game and grinding it out against the bigger retailers, but we're also going to reward companies that have fought the good fight and have treated their community and their employees and their customers in the same manner that we would hope to get at a smaller business. So making sure that I don't miss any of my notes here. I will say that going back to, I just saw a note here. It talked about the difference in the prices. We have a little bit of a different meal plan or menu than